YouTube, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here, back in Total War Attila, and I got some exciting news for you. It's been long enough. You've been voting for my next campaign, so let me tell you what has won and kind of how we're going to proceed. Throughout the remainder of this week, I will be showing you a new campaign while finishing up a little bit on the Sassanid campaign. If we don't get to where we like, I will continue to put up an episode or maybe two of the Sassanid campaign until we feel satisfied, but also going to go ahead and start the other two. Again, the voting was pretty extensive. There was a lot of votes, and I was glad to see that so many of you were having fun participating, and there was lots of good comments. So let me kind of tell you how the results went. If you look at it as from any one faction, the clear winner of the vote was, let's go into a grand campaign, it was the Huns. So the Huns had 300 and some odd votes, which was more than any other single faction. I listed the Ostrogoths and the Visigoths on the same line. As honorable mentions, the Vandals, and if you divided the Ostrogoth and Visigoth 1 and 2, and then if you did the Franks, I think it was Vandals, Franks, and the Goths that were the second place, all very close to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a runoff, and to make it simpler, I'm going to narrow it down to one Goth faction, and I'm going to go ahead and say Ostrogoths just for one reason, and here's the reason why I'm saying that. Not because I don't think the Visigoths would be cool, it would, especially since you got Alaric here. It's this right here, the Inheritors of Rome is just like too tempting to possibly be able to recruit Roman units as the Ostrogoths. So the faction vote to pick the second new one is going to be a runoff, so go down to the comments. So far the winners were Vandals. I'm going to throw in Ostrogoths. They're close to the same as the Visigoths, so hopefully that'll satisfy both crowds there. And then so Vandals, Ostrogoths, and Franks. Those are your options. The Franks are a faction that starts off with the settlement. The Ostrogoths and Vandals are migratory. So are the Huns. So here's what I will do. If indeed two nomadic factions win, in order to try and make things more interesting, I will make sure to settle down as soon as I can with one and try and expand from there. And then the other faction, maybe I'll keep them migratory a little longer. Don't worry, one way or the other, I'll find a way to vary it up a little, even if they both start migratory. Now, what this tells me is that over the course of Attila, there are a bunch of folks out there who would like to see me do certain campaigns, and I'm going to be happy to bring them to you. Now, some of you are complaining, Heir, for goodness sakes, do the Romans. They're the best. Look, I'm very much looking forward to both Roman campaigns, and I will start one of them probably in the next batch. What I'm doing, though, is waiting, making sure there's not any major patches or anything else to the game that's going to ruin my save file or anything else. I kind of wasted my Carthage campaign early in Rome 2, and I want to make the Roman campaigns fun in this one and epic. So that's why I'm playing these other ones first. The namesake of the game is Attila, though, and playing as the Huns is going to be a great deal of fun. I'm going to run it on hard, not like very hard or anything yet, because I honestly don't know much about playing as a Horde faction. I've only gotten to do it just a little bit. And the Huns have some pretty cool traits. Enemy morale is -10 when fighting Christian factions, so they think you're the scourge of God, so it lowers their morale. And then this Horseman of the Apocalypse is very interesting. You get extra 25 growth from raising settlements, so that will help make your Horde grow. You get an extra integrity for every war being prosecuted, which means that being aggressive with these guys pays off, especially when you're in Horde mode and you need that integrity. Famine, which takes an additional 20 food consumption from the province where your Horde is present, so really making it tough for them. And then Death, which stops foreign replenishment in all provinces where the Horde is present. So when the Horde is present, the enemy is not regaining their strength. So this is a very interesting set of traits. Very excited to do this. It ought to be a lot of fun. It's going to be crazy, though, because the Huns are very horse-heavy to start off with, so we'll probably have to bide our time and play this right. So hopefully we get it right. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut up. But again, don't forget, go down in the comments, vote in the runoff. Don't be like Americans at election time who don't go vote because none of the politicians do anything they say. Heir will actually do what you say. Whichever campaign you pick is the one I'll play. Oh, look at me. Now I sound like a bad politician. Alright, and we all know Apache's a bad politician. You all saw what he was doing in that Sassanid campaign. The guy was brutal. And there's no need to think that he'll be any different in the Hun campaign. And like I said, I'm going to keep my old mouth shut
The air was filled with smoke and blood. The Huns gloried in the stench of death. They took what they needed and left their enemies to rot. The Huns were free. They rode and fought and lived. Fear built Roman walls. They were right to be afraid. And behold, a red horse, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Those with gold offered it by the wagon. The Huns took it and allowed them to live in fear, at least until they returned. Riders of the Four Winds prayed to him of the eternal sky. They made ready for war. Hailing from the eastern steppes, yours is a life of constant movement and conflict. Your arrival has driven many from their homelands in fear. The Goths have fled southwestwards. Give chase, and you will find the fertile lands of the Eastern Roman Empire. The Vandals run west. There you will find the Western Roman Empire, weaker than its eastern cousin, but perhaps easier to exploit. Southeast lies the wealthy Sassanid Empire, ripe for plundering. Before you take on the supposed masters of the civilized world, you will do well to strengthen your position by subjugating the northern tribes. The world will dance to your tune, or it will burn.
Alright, so here we are as the Huns getting started, and we are going to start off as a horde. You start with a few different stacks. You got one here, here, and here. And let's take a look at our diplomacy situation, kind of see who hates us. So we are at war with the East Romans, expected. Lazica, or Lazica, or whatever this place is, way over here in Caucasia. No real concern. No idea why we're at war with these guys from Ethiopia. Ostrogoths, which makes sense, we just chased them out of their lands. And that is it. So not a whole ton of wars going around. There's only one faction that seems to somehow like us. We have two tributary states. We got the Gepids, which are here, and the whatever these guys are, Grutthungians or something. So all these guys are my tributary states, and I'm curious, these guys to the north here, Antians, they don't like me much, and nor do the Roxolani, so I may try and consolidate my positions and subjugate these guys real quick. Just to kind of get things kicked off. Now, one thing you're going to need to keep an eye on whenever you're in a campaign as a horde faction is the integrity of your army. It kind of equates to like the happiness of a settlement. And your settlement gets carried with you. So this is kind of the tent settlements that we're carrying with us. And rather than certain buildings causing squalor and public order bonuses, they cause penalties. The buildings tend to cause integrity penalties. So it's all about integrity here, and if you look, you can mouse over and see that this character here is going to be running positive every time, Uldin, and I believe he is my faction leader. He is. And then if you look at my other generals, we got Kuradak here, and Charaton, or however you say it anyway. I don't know how to pronounce all this stuff, but so that's my generals at the time being. It's my top three guys, and let's turn on this so we can kind of see. These guys aren't super loyal yet, In fact, we may go ahead and start off by putting these guys into a position. Go ahead and do that. And then we need to get some technology research moving. We'll probably want to go ahead and start here. And then as far as what we should do first, I want to go hit this city here and subjugate these guys. We are at war with the Roxolanians, but they are not exactly all over me just yet. Let's take this horde, and we'll try and catch up with my faction leader. It's going to take a few turns to make all that movement. And we'll go ahead and put these guys into camp. And again, I don't know if this is the right decision or not. I haven't played a lot of Horde yet, so I'm just going to take my best guess. And I want to build stuff that's going to help boost the integrity. This army's already got this building that boosts integrity by 3. We don't have a lot of food consumption either, so we'll have to be careful about how that's handled. And if we look at our 2 options here, this one enables the recruitment of noble Akatziri riders, however you pronounce that, which are actually a slightly better unit than this Shamans of the Eternal Sky. And if you want to see the units, the quickest way to do that is just to head in here into the Cyclopedia, and you can kind of make your decisions on the buildings based on what it is that you're hoping to get out of it. So let me show you here. If we go into units, we'll select the Huns, and if we go to melee cavalry, yeah, so here we go. The noble Akatziri raiders. These guys have decent stats for a raider cav. Most raider cav do not have great stats, and these guys are no exception to that rule. But they do have excellent spotting and a good ability to hide and everything. So not super high health, but again decent stats, and they're a raider cav, which lets them set stuff on fire. So that's a helpful unit. Whereas, whoops. To go back in here, the Shamans of the Eternal Sky, which have a cooler name, actually are a pretty craptacular unit, and I'm not even sure why they exist. Just one of those ones that when you look at it, it's like, what? Why? And there's a few of these units in the game, and that's my only real complaint about Attila, is that the unit balancing is actually really poor. The game plays really fun despite that, but there's just a lot of units that aren't very worthwhile, unfortunately. So, I mean, really, a melee cav like this that has 7 melee attack? Really? I mean, even with a 20 bonus against cav, woohoo, watch out there. Getting really strong. I mean, these guys are going to be worthless against infantry. So I don't see the point of units like this. They have these different abilities, which seems great, except that they only have 2 ammunition. What's the point of having a bow on your back and you only have 2 ammunition? So again, there's just little things like this. They're fast. That's good. Their health is decent. But it's like, what? Why? It just doesn't make sense. It's like you get the worst of both worlds. You get a bow with no shooting and a spear that can't kill. So, I mean, I don't get it. It's very odd with these units. Now, they do have the Encourage ability, which is nice, but it doesn't make sense. So hopefully y'all know what I'm getting at. Anyway, that's why I'm making the decision that I am here about if I upgrade, it's going to be to the Nobleman's Camp, because these Akatziri riders are going to be better for me. And we are going to go ahead and build a couple of buildings. I'm going to go ahead and build another herder's yurt to get a little more food, and then we'll go ahead and build this Nobleman's Camp. And the other 2 stacks are just going to have to march their way over to me. As far as, we can't trade with anybody, I don't think, because we're a horde, which that definitely makes it challenging. So we do need to just go ahead and end the first turn, I think. Not a whole lot else that we need to take care of at the moment. So the Ostrogoths are kind of taking off and heading towards Rome. They're probably wanting to put some distance between me and them. If you can catch up with the Ostrogoths pretty early in the game, it is very possible to destroy them with your armies. The Ostrogoths start with a few decent units, but not a whole lot. And they start with 2 hordes, and the Huns start with 3. These guys want me to give them one of my family members, but they're not offering anything in return, so I think not. So we got the offices appointed without any backlash, which is a rare and welcome event. Seems like I always get big old backlash. So I'm going to bring up my other horde here and drop them into an encampment. You can see that even with the encampment, this unit here is not gaining any integrity, so this one's going to need some work, or else they're just going to lose all their integrity. Now, you can gain integrity by doing battles and stuff, but you have to do them pretty frequently to keep it up, because you get kind of like a one-time boost of 10 integrity. And there's lots of things that have a negative effect on your integrity. And if you look, all these buildings have a negative effect on integrity, so this artisan, although it's giving us a little money, which is nice, is really not the way we want to go. So I'm going to tear it down, and we'll replace it with something else. And I'm going to go ahead here and build this. Well, you can go a couple of different ways with integrity. They need quite a bit of integrity in the stack, so I'm going to go ahead and go this route. And this army needs to go ahead and continue to move this way, and we'll get ready to do some raiding. This will just kind of be some initial preparatory work. So let's see. I think we can go ahead and end another turn here. We're going to burn through a few turns here at first a little faster than we would with a faction that's settled. And again, if some of you think that I'm doing this wrong, feel free to point stuff out in the comments, because like I said, I'm by no means very experienced with the Horde faction. The other ones are obviously a lot easier for me to grasp. Okay, so we can now go ahead and move this horde all the way on up, and so now we're all together, which gives us a little bit of safety in numbers for now. I can't go into encamped mode. These guys, though, are pretty strong integrity-wise, which is great. And we've got a goat herders here, and honestly, I'm just going to build another goat herders. When you look at these, the other ones give you just a little bit more income, which is great. And you can get extra battle speed out of your cavalry, so eventually I will want to build this, but for now I'm going to stick to the goat herders because I get the most food out of it, and you get a decent little bit of income off of it as well. And remember, the buildings are quite expensive, and you're not going to be making a ton of money generally at the beginning. Let's see, cattle herd, I'm trying to remember which one of these. Warlord's Yurt, that's definitely one that I want to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and research down here to the Warlord's Yurt, because that adds some really nice benefits. And once again, I don't think we have a whole lot else to take care of. We're going to go ahead and end the turn. And I might take move these units just a little bit north to kind of scout out our enemies there to the north that I want to go subjugate, just to make sure we know what we're up against. We don't have a lot of infantry to start with, and you really don't want to train a lot of infantry to start with. It actually has quite a bit of upkeep. Of course, you could disband some of your cavalry and train some infantry, but the cavalry is pretty good. Are these guys enemies or foes? Bastarnians, those guys are not my foes. We're going to go ahead and just go into an encampment because it's winter, and I don't want to take any attrition. So this unit's now encamped, and it's gaining back integrity, even just being encamped. We have a couple of different options here. This stack's pretty well set up, actually. Let's go ahead and drop a goat herder here, and that used the rest of our growth at the time. So, and it tells you here that it takes 2 population surplus. See, it shows you what it takes to use these things. This one gives us integrity and extra wealth, which is pretty nice. A little extra wealth over that one. And that one gives us a little extra food, which may not be bad. And it gives you extra growth when you're encamped also, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to think which one I want to do, though. The wine trader is a pretty nice one, but we can't build it yet because we don't have the technology researched. And that one enables the recruitment of spies, which could be quite handy, to be honest. We probably need that more than we need the campfire. Let's build the bartering grounds, and then go ahead and end a couple of turns here. Let them finish their buildings, and then we'll head north and hit our enemies. That'll give us time to recover just a little bit of the income that we lost, because we just spent quite a bit of money there, and we're not making a particularly large amount. And that's why I'm keeping my hordes together. There is risk in this. Keeping your hordes together means safety in numbers, but it also means that if you get overwhelmed, you're dead all in one fell blow, which is obviously one of the huge risks of playing as a horde. You can get destroyed rather quickly. Get yourself into a bad scenario, and that's it. It's over. So be at war with the following faction within 11 turns and get 1,000 talents. I'm pretty sure I can handle that. Doesn't seem like that's going to be a big challenge. The Bastarnians moving through here. They look like they're just kind of a copy-paste Germanic faction from what I'm seeing there.
Share my fire.
It says that we can levy units here, which would be pretty good, actually. These Germanic band have pretty low upkeep, and would be very handy for the Huns, because getting into the city can be pretty hard with all cavalry. So we're going to levy those infantry up from our client state. Let's go ahead and end another turn, let some of those buildings get finished, and then we'll just move all of our forces north. We'll also want to make sure it's not winter when we're moving, because we'll take attrition, and then attrition also hurts your integrity. So I know it may seem like, you're just blowing through turns here, you're not doing anything. I'm just being patient, and hopefully we do it right. No need to be in a rush here. We're going to have plenty of time to plunder everybody. And plunder we will. Subjugate we will. I want to get a lot of these northern tribes subjugated. Okay, Imperium goes up a little bit, and we got a matter of state subject here. It says, I'm a tax collector. I must report that some of your citizens have been withholding payment. Well, I just paid a lot of taxes myself. Just had to write an additional check to the IRS, which I was pretty unpleased about. So I'm going to try and talk them down, because I know how it can be to be upset over taxes. Oh, man. I did pay it, though. The IRS didn't have to send someone to talk me down. So don't worry. Heir of Carthage, not going to jail. So there's a rivalry that's creating some friction with the guys here. That's understandable. That happens. And on this one, when I go out of encampment, basically you lose 4 for... actually, I may lose a whole 5 for going out of encampment. These guys will be safe. These guys will still be losing a little. Resting, encampment, politics, buildings. So the buildings right now are not helping them. We really need to build these guys a storyteller's year, or the nobleman's camp. Well, actually, we'll do one of each. Even though I said I don't like the eternal shamans of this guy, it does give us priest, and we can give them a try and see if they really stink as bad as I'm making them out to stink. I'm actually going to convert this over to a goat herder. And let's go ahead and, like I said, just run through a few turns, get these finished, so that, we just need to make sure our integrity is stable real quick. And as we declare war on more factions, that'll help stabilize integrity too, believe it or not. Apparently the Hun armies really enjoy being at war with everybody. So just be patient with me as we blow through a few more turn ends, and then we'll definitely be getting the job done. And then I'd like to kind of, once we feel a little more secure, like we've raised, subjugated, done a little bit of damage, build up our armies a little, then I want to head south, obviously, and start harassing the West Romans. Figure like that'll be quite a bit of fun. And eventually I think it'd be pretty cool to actually settle Italy with the Huns. That'd be very un-Hunnic of me, but... So the villagers agree to peacefully pay the tax. See, we all came to an agreement. If only King George would have done this, right? And then maybe England and America wouldn't have had to go to war with each other. But hey, we're all friends now, so all water under the bridge.
How can I help?
Americans, we love the Brits. We're all good friends. So let's see. We got this one horde that's got 3 turns worth of building left. Man, I hate going for a whole nother 3 turns. We might be able to just... a little risky to leave them there on their own, but I think we could do it, because these other 2 hordes will probably give me what I need. Let's take these guys out of that. There's no more troops for me to levy up with that.
How can I help?
So yeah, I can't levy up any more troops. So we only have a couple of infantry, which could be problematic, but we have a lot of horse archers, and these ones actually do have... actually it's fall, so we're about to be in winter, so never mind. We probably ought not to move. Let's just go ahead and wait until winter's over. Plus, that'll give me a couple of turns to get those buildings finished anyway. I don't want to move through the snow, because we'll get an integrity penalty and then have to recoup the losses by going into an encampment anyway, so we might as well just go ahead and camp this turn. And then move once the snow is over. Again, I'm still learning about the way that now the boss. So one of my subjugated states is heading up that way. It might be a good time to go join them. However, like I said, I really don't want to move in the snow, and I don't think it's a good idea. So we'll probably just go ahead and blow through this turn end as well.
How can I help?
Is this the army that's got buildings minus? Oh, it's because we built this other goat herder. So here we need to go ahead and build up a nobleman's camp as well. So let's see. The Ostrogoths running around near some Roman territory. There are hordes everywhere in the north. There are just hordes all over the place. It is crazy, like the amount of horde insanity that goes on. And you can already see several desolated settlements through there. I don't know if that's a result of the hordes, but it very well could be. Or some of them actually start desolated like that, and you can choose to settle them. Just not typically a smart move, especially, and look, yeah, there's a whole bunch of flames. Someone just nuked another settlement. The AI is pretty nuke-happy. They nuke stuff like crazy. And if you're going to settle down, you got to be real careful, with, especially early game, like I said, like this, because there's a lot of factions running around. These guys are, I'm pretty sure, the tree breakers here are from a faction. Yeah, these guys are subjugated to me. They're a tributary state. They hate me, which means they may not join me in combat. But we should try. We should see if they'll join me in combat. I'm gonna come up here. Who are these guys too? The wild ones. They probably don't like me either, though. There's a chance they could come in against me. They've got a non-aggression pact, so actually this may be a good time to attack. Let's bring our faction leader up here. We're gonna declare war. And subjugated states, I think, act a little differently than others. Yeah, so see, they're not going to join me in the fight here. Neither one of them are. I don't guess they're obligated to, kind of like a puppet state would be. And we still technically need to continue finishing these buildings, but we'll be alright for one turn. Let's move up here into reinforcement range. Just go ahead and bring all of our horde up. And let's put some beat down on, what's this faction here? Anteans. So we are going to give them a Hunnic ride-by destruction, the likes of which should leave them reeling. So we, oh, it's a gated settlement. I didn't realize that. So we need to get some towers going. Continue the siege.
Ready for action.
We could actually let these guys finish their crap here.
Thirsty for battle.
There we go. We won't want to siege clean through the winter. Well, actually we may want to go ahead and siege clean through the winter so that we can get some of the towers and the walls weakened. That'll certainly help us since we don't really have the infantry to go fighting for the walls. So we'll probably go ahead and siege these guys for a few turns. That'll give me a chance to finish those buildings. And then, of course, we can give these guys some nice pain, hopefully.
You have more orders.
So we got a mercenary commander, and he's basically passing through saying that he swears his sword for loyalty. We'll accept his offer. We might need some mercenaries. Let's see. Everybody's raiding the crud out of these guys. They're going to get absolutely hammered. Almost done with the buildings there. We got a nice bit of food going. Still not the best integrity on this horde here, so I know a building tree that we can build here. And again, we're going to have to wait a few more turns anyway just to kind of weaken the walls of the settlement a little bit. We do have some characters with unassigned skills, so if we put some zeal on them, that also gives further boost to integrity, which is great. And like I said, as we continue to declare war, it will help out. So, but we'll just put this on all these guys to start off with, and so I'm pretty sure that that'll have an effect on their zeal. Yeah, see characters where it says 2, so that should be character 2. Yeah, so this should be adding to the zeal of all these guys, so that'll be a big help. Or adding to the integrity boost that they give the armies. I'm not running my timer here, so I'm probably going to get the timing all wrong, but some of you don't seem to care whenever I make long episodes, so can't wait to raid these guys. And I am going to go ahead and wait through the winter, just because I want to make sure that the walls are actually destroyed in a couple spots. Oh, those guys are going to pull their non-aggression pact on me while they're standing right next to me. I see how it is. They want a little piece of this action. They want to get in on the fight. Wow, there's a lot of them too. I haven't declared war on me, but this could get tricky. If these guys come join in the combat, it could get pretty ugly. I say that we go ahead and sack this place now. I wonder if the walls are very damaged. Let's see. Wall strength is still at 89%. Unfortunately, they have barricades available still. What is this? And it looks like they're taking an attrition of about 6 men per turn. Let's go ahead and continue the siege for now. This is one of those tricky situations where I don't know that these guys would stand up for me, even though I have them subjugated. These guys obviously willing to fight against me because I have them sieged, and if they somehow quickly get help from the Budinians, we could find ourselves in a very nasty situation very quickly. And then there's this other army of Antians out here, so literally we could end up with like 5 stacks of enemies against us. This is why I'm saying that the life of a horde can get very dangerous in the wrong circumstances. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to have to hope that it turns out for the better rather than the worst here. And at this point, I think I might be content to kind of wait the winter out here and let some of these other folks suffer some attrition. There we go. See, those guys just declared war on me, and they're probably going to attack me. No, they attacked the other people who just ended their aggression pact with me. That was sweet. They just helped me there. I don't know what those guys were thinking, but you better believe we're going to drop back past and we're going to sack Olbia and Chersonesus, or however you say that there. We're going to get both of them. That ought to be a lot of fun. An illegitimate birth. So let's take a look at the settlement, or the wall strength here. It's down to 83%. If I attack this time, there's still quite a bit of their men left here. If I wait through the winter, though, all of these guys are going to take attrition. And I have quite a few units here, and they're going to take a pretty decent amount of attrition. Let's see. I've been sieging for almost a year. Surely there's a couple of gaps in the wall. Let's go ahead and fight the fight on the battlefield and see what we can do. This could very well get very tricky, but we do have a lot of horsemen, and we're going to have to hope that there's some breaches in the wall and some towers that have already been affected. That's one of the cool things I really do like about the siege escalation in Attila. It allows the battle to kind of make more sense. A siege battle, at least. These guys maintain a lot of their strength, though they haven't taken a terrible amount of attrition just yet. So let's go ahead and start the deployment. It is a nasty day for a battle. And it says their wall strength is at 80-something%, but it looks like it's at 100% as far as I'm concerned. Now their towers are gone over here. That's good. But I still don't know if I would be able to break in. So we're definitely going to attack away from their towers. At least away from the functioning towers. So let's get these guys all over here. We're going to keep our axemen in the... Got some mounted warband here. Let's save ammo. Let's keep our general at a safe distance. We've got these melee cav, and then we've got our horse archers here, which we're going to take our horse archers, put them in flaming shot, and hopefully get up here and do some damage. Now, we're going to have to be careful, though. There's going to be enemy hurlers on the wall, and there's not a whole lot that I can do about that. Ooh, this is going to be tricky, folks. I don't know how good I feel about this. Our axes are really the only units that can get up on the wall. I was hoping there'd be a breach in the gates, but there is not. Technically, we could use the axes to hack the gates, but that's not going to go over well. And these slingers are going to be able to match me for range, I think.
Good news! Additional forces have arrived!
Oh, that is good news. So I'm going to let my additional forces get here. There's a river crossing here, thank goodness. Whew, you'd have some cold feet after coming across that thing.
The enemy approaches!
The enemy approaches. Approaches what? Okay, so I guess we just spotted a unit over there or something. So here's a lot of my reinforcing troops. Let's let's go ahead and start getting them across the river so that I can start getting them sorted out. We're going to have to let them rest too, and I'm going to need all the arrows that I have. We're going to have to really tear into the enemy with my horse archers. If I can weaken the enemy enough so that I can get my axes in the wall and have some chance of capturing the walls, then that'll work.
The battle is turning in our favor.
We are getting a lot of reinforcements, which is great. We need every last bit of it. This will end up being a huge battle. What is this unit over here? Come on, be some archers. Yes. I need plenty of horse archers. And I have them. Let's get all our horse archers staged right here. And then we're just going to come up here and rain all kinds of flaming arrows all over the enemy here. Hopefully that'll demoralize them, set some stuff on fire, cause a lot of damage. Their melee infantry is actually one of my biggest concerns here. If we can get rid of their melee infantry so that my axes can get on the walls. They don't have anything to burn my towers with, which is really fortunate for me. And my troops, I'm imagining, are going to get quite tired from running across the river, the cold, cold river. They're probably glad they're on horseback, and I'm sure the horses are thanking them for this privilege. A little bit of a pathfinding glitch here where they're trying to scoot over a little early. Definitely wish I had more infantry, but we will live. Just get all our guys together here. Make sure all of our guys are fresh, ready to go. And then all my melee cav back here is also ready to go. Let's see if we have anybody that has... These steps-mounted tribes people actually have some decent health. I wonder how many of these units we have. We have enough of them that if we need to dismount some and take them into combat, we could. I'll keep them ready for just such a thing, just in case. Okay. And I'm guessing part of that health actually is because of their horse. So what we are going to do is pull up to close range and just shower the enemy with flaming arrows. If we lose horse archers, it'll be okay. And I'm just going to absolutely hammer these guys with missile fire. And hopefully the flaming missiles will catch stuff on fire and just kind of mess with these guys in general. I don't know if loose formation will really help me much here. It probably would, actually. I am losing horse archers rather quickly. And I'm not going to have the best shot because I'm shooting kind of up into the enemy units here. I wonder if we could shoot the gatehouse potentially, but let's see if we're getting any kills whatsoever. Yeah, we are getting kills. So, and I am losing units though because of javelins and hurler fire, but they'll run out of javelins soon enough. And their hurler ammo is already running low because they fire so quickly. These archers, though, are getting nice shots on me as well. Let's pull away from them. But like I said, I just want to let these guys, they're going to die, but I want to get as many kills as I can get with these bows, because those are kills that I won't have to get with my other troops.
Our men flee the field of battle.
This guy's causing a lot more damage to me than I thought, but we are killing their warband, which would be very nice. But they have a lot of spearmen here. Just routed some of their axemen. This is great.
Enemy units have returned to the battle.
Okay, 23, 25. Not getting a lot of kills, but we, you know, hey, all these kills we get here are going to be worthwhile in the end. And their general unit here has taken some damage as well. So like I said, any kills we get here are going to be kills we don't have to get with what few infantry we have. And this does mean that we're going to need to go ahead and start moving up the towers. And we're probably going to have to dismount our tribespeople. And join the melee on the walls, which this is going to be pretty risky, folks. Pretty risky. Not sure I made the right decision here without coming with more infantry, but we'll do what we can. if we can just get the gates captured and let the rest of my cavalry in, I have no doubt that we can give these guys a pretty solid trouncing. And at this point, at least, we've soaked up quite a bit of enemy missile fire and managed to cause some damage in the meantime. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and retreat.
Our men have regrouped.
Let's move up my axes. And all these extra cavalry. Let's go ahead and bring them up. Get all my horse archers pulled way back. So yeah, the towers ought to give my guys decent protection. I'm going to come actually straight towards these units that still have javelins because I'm hoping that the tower will block some of those javelins. If I come in, well,
The men are running.
actually I want to come in where my men will immediately get in the capture zone. I think that's as close as I can get. Yeah, and I don't want those guys throwing those javelins into my flanks. And then I'll just quickly ride up these horsemen and get on the walls. We could try and tear the gates down. The gatehouse is already pretty damaged, but as you can imagine, it's not going to do me a world of good to try and get through the gates really either. But the AI does not really have a good way to burn down my towers. Fortunately, those axes came back. But we are 1,600 men to 1,300. I wonder what these tribes people have whenever you dismount them. If it doesn't affect their health, man, that'd be great. It does take their charge bonus down. Does their health really stay at 168? No, the men only have 93. Okay. So, yeah, it's okay-ish. Got the Germanic levies up here. Yeah, their health is lower than mine, actually, so... Alright, let's go ahead and dismount all the rest of these guys. This will give me some extra melee power to fight with. And let's hope these guys hurl their javelins and that most of them get blocked by the siege tower. Because I don't want their javelins to do any more damage than they should. Okay. My men might need the influence of my general. We took only 2 casualties from their javelins. It's good.
They will bleed for us.
I'm guessing that a lot of their javelins are stuck in the front. Whoa! Yeah, probably stuck in the front of my tower here. Why would you have the little windows open? That doesn't make much sense. Okay, let's get ready to push on up with these axemen. These axemen are not very good, and they're going to struggle even against the spears. Germanic band. They are pretty craptacular units. And let's hope we can pull this off, folks. Let's hope. Let's see. Tower's getting close. My towers have reached over here. Just send all the rest of my guys up the tower. So my axes are through over here. And we're already getting hit by hurler fire, but hopefully they'll do a lot of friendly damage too. We're causing some damage to the enemy spearmen. But we've also got all these extra units pouring in now as well, so hopefully we can just overwhelm them. That'll be my goal. Start attacking these different spear units here. Yeah, there's archers back there firing into me. This is not good, but like I said, hopefully eventually they'll wear themselves out too with friendly fire. Whoops. Yeah, we're getting swamped up pretty bad here. Let's bring our general up. We are kind of breaking some of the enemy spearmen though, so I'm going to go ahead and pursue even though I'm getting fired at, because if we can break the enemy melee infantry, we're going to have it settled here, I think. So my general's now going to provide a little support. Let's leave one group of guys to... Ooh, yeah, we don't want to get fired on by those archers. Is my Hunnic Warlord scare? No. Steppe Chieftain. It's not a Hunnic Warlord, that's why it is. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Hurlers are shooting at my chieftain, so I'm going to move out of the way over here. This cavalry coming in's not exactly what I want. They're going to get a very nice charge there, and we're still taking a lot of arrow fire. But these guys over here are doing actually pretty good in melee, and the enemy is going to slowly but surely run short of infantry support, but that means I still need to get in the wall. If I need to, I can dismount these guys and bring up even more support, which it does look like we might need it.
To admit defeat.
Let's go ahead and dismount. Really don't want you guys throwing your javelins until I say to. Whoa! Enemy cav came out of the gates here after wrecking some of my men.
My men have given up and are running for their lives.
We'll see if we can kill some of this cavalry that's giving chase to me here. See if that helps my guys go ahead and get climbing here. This enemy cav out here, let's get after him real quick. Oh, he's gonna hit my horses and make them all scatter. He's gonna get a nice rear charge, and my guy's trying to get up here as well. And my guys are all still firing at will, which I really don't want them to do. Okay, so we routed the enemy. Oh, we've captured the gates now. Get in here. Yep, now it's time to get inside the walls. Yeah, we've managed to overcome the enemy troops here. So we're going to get all our guys up inside the wall. So it looks like this is going to end up being successful, although a little Pyrrhic. So we'll have to get back into our camps and retrain, but we'll go ahead and sack this place and then maybe turn around on the next turn and loot it. Do things the right way here. I want to get all my guys that are still mounted. Where are my guys that are mounted? Yeah, these guys are still mounted. We're trying to get in through the gate, and all the other guys are trying to flee out of the gates. So they're all kind of blocking my way here. Let's come on, get in here. Everybody get up here. I got Lancers and Hunnic Mounted Warband. My guys are having a little trouble with the gates. Jeez, man, I can't control this anymore. I'm used to the way that Homeworld controls. There should still be maybe a couple enemy units up here at the victory point, which is the stone circle. So we're going to ride these Germanic bows down, just get our guys up here and go check it out. But yeah, our Huns have breached the city. My guys did pretty good dismounted. I wasn't sure how they would do. I'm going to go ahead and walk forward, give my guys a second to rest since I've been trying to run them through those gates.
A unit has fired all of its ammunition.
I thought I had turned everybody off fire will, but I guess I did not. And somehow, oh, we got an enemy unit routing through our horses and he's scattering them there. Okay, what do we got left here? Just a Germanic noble. I'm gonna go ahead and charge the Germanic noble real quick. I'm not gonna get a good charge because my own guys are in my way, but it is unbraced, so we are gonna get kills with this Steppe Lancer. I'm gonna have to pull back. This is not a very good spot to charge. It's just like all weird terrain. So I'm gonna lose some horsemen, but if we just keep cycling on and off of this Germanic noble, we'll be able to kill it. I'm gonna hit it with this Hunnic mounted warband, which has a decent attack, although not a great charge, but the impact damage still should kill some of these guys. I'm just gonna cycle back and forth, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn their fire wheel back on. So, looks like our first episode is the Huns. A little bit sloppy probably, but we'll survive. If we do get attacked, it is going to be kind of dangerous though, because a lot of my horse archers are out of commission right now. The Hunnic mounted, or the enemy Germanic noble is wavering and routed, so now we can just chase it down. So that's going to be a victory. I would have liked to have sieged the city a little longer. I was just getting a little bit weary of the situation around us. So like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and sack these guys to get what income we can off of them, and then in the next turn I'll probably just attack them again and subjugate them. So we killed all their forces. The only thing we lost was our two... Well, we lost one horse mounted bow there. So these were just levied units, so no big deal there. And all we can do is sack or raise it. So we're going to sack it. And at this point we can go ahead and put our guys into encamp mode. We'll start retraining some of our troops, which ought to be pretty good. And that's all the time I'm going to have for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now.